Hello, good evening. Can you make a brief introduction about yourself?
Okay, my name is Liew Shaw Shong. I'm an engineer. I've been working as an engineer for about 28 years, and my specialty actually is one special branch of civil engineering. We call it a geotechnical engineer. And I came back to Malaysia in 1993 and start my career. Since then, I think I've been worked for about 6-7 years before I get my professional engineer status. Now I'm actually the founding directors and also a senior director of a specialist firm GMP Geotechnics, and this is part of the overall multidisciplinary engineering consulting service firm that call it a GMP Professionals and Berhad.
Oh, can I ask, as one of founder of GMP Geotechnic company, what do you think of the contemporary entrepreneurship is different for what it used to be?
There definitely has a lot of difference because there's a lot of technology advancement in the recent generations, recent era. This is partly also because of the ICT and also a lot of innovation coming out. It's quite different from those days. In a way, a lot of construction is labor intensive, and now we're talking about brain powers that require a lot of innovations. And a lot of process was go into modularizations of the construction process. So that's why a lot of things is come from the factory. In a way, it's slowly moving towards like off-the-shelf catalog style of products to be used in the engineering solution. But in my particular area, because I think we deal with the ground, and the ground is never be a mercy to an engineer. It can the good ground has been using up, and I think left with all the very problematic ground that pose a lot of challenge and unique problems to the engineer. Slightly different from a structural engineer, whereby they can use all the man-made material. We have to deal with the natural material or whatever existing material at the site. That's why I think in terms of that, there are a little bit comparatively, there's a relatively less difference from the structural engineer, whereby I think their unit can be more towards like precast or modular units that well constructed or manufactured from the factory, and they just bring to the site to do assembly. So, but I think because the challenge come from my profession actually is to deal with all this unexpected material. That's why more and more of this good ground not available, then we really have to face the challenge as it comes. We also can't even predict what are the material we are dealing with. Sometimes it can be a man-made waste, sometimes it can be a landfill, and also there's a lot of natural hazard like all this limestone sinkhole, cavities, and also a lot of man-made fill that is not properly done. So the characteristic of this material is very different from the natural material. So the challenge lies with how we understand the material we are dealing with. When we be given to a site, we need to do a proper investigation before we derive our solution for the clients and project need. On the technology, because of the advancement of the equipment, construction equipment, that actually make a little bit of difference from those days. And there's a lot of all this synthetic material also being used in applied in my area, like all the slope engineering, surface protections, and even there's also some of the pile was done using the precast pile. Slightly moving towards whatever it can be modularized. That will make some changes from my profession compared to old days.
So, can I ask, do you think it is any social or environment factor driven more young generation to build their own business?
Yes, I think in Asian country, I think due to the culture, most people like to be the boss themselves. They never like to become a worker or a salary earner for enterprise, because they feel that they are able to start off themselves, and always people believe they start off themselves, they can earn more because they are the boss. I think, but then this will become making the market sector very fragmented. They are not in come in one united or integrated forces. That's why everybody will become like a Hollywood star. They don't act as a team, and it will be difficult due to the capacity issue. They won't be able to do a big job because one man can never fight 10 men if they work in one heart and one direction. So because of that, yes, I think the culture itself, it encourage everybody to be the boss themselves. So once they get enough experience, they will start off their own business, starting from a very small firm. And most of the time they will keep it small because when the cake is making bigger, many people don't have a vision to synergize what they call talent from different aspects to make it a multidisciplinary service provider, rather than they're just contented and happy with what they are getting based on their individuals' input for, in my case, it's like consultancy services. Just take one job and enough to last them for three years and a reasonable income. So they will also quite difficult thing to grow big, you know. In consultancy service, that will always be a dilemma. That's why I think we are in Malaysia. We can't fight with the big consultant if they come onshore from overseas. This is a major problem, and it will become like slowly dying off if they don't move to integrated service.
Okay, as you mentioned before, you think the innovation and partnerships model will have like more profit on the future? Just you mentioned before.
In all the industry, I think innovation is one of the very important elements. I think it will be ranked the first top priority. But having a good idea, if you are not able to materialize it for mass productions, then you'll be limited just purely good ideas. You will not be able to commercialize the products and the services. So, but nonetheless, I think that is the cutting edge that to bring you a healthy profit if you are able to commercialize it. Then you talk about efficiency. Basically, is to make the things done in a very efficient in terms of cost and time. That actually can reduce their expenses and time taken to build some things or products or services. In that return, that you will have a good profit due to your efficiency in managing the cost and time. As for what the factor, I'm not quite sure what is meant by the factor.
The factor is something like people who have a store or restaurant, they sell all subsidized products like factory. Actually, sorry, this one is a factory. It's like you the
Manufacturing, is it?
No, it's like you sell the, because like one type of entrepreneurship is like they sell the products. Like how to say it, like you have a restaurant and this one is your entrepreneurship, or you have a store selling clothes, this one is a type of entrepreneurship. It's like
if you're talking about
retail,
products,
something.
a product or service, that will be anybody will just be willing to pay money to get services or products.
Yeah.
If these products or services is nothing out of ordinary, very ordinary or no extraordinary kind of elements, you won't be able to fetch a good price, so you won't have a good profit. You know, maybe just a average income or reasonable profit for that, but it will be no way that compared to value, serious value improvement in the change due to innovation. Just one example, nobody want to buy an old models of iPhone or Android phone. They will always look for the newest one, and there's an expectation of the new features that give them some wow factors. People willing to pay for the wow factor. So that will bring you good profit because nobody's stringy about temptation.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then the last question is, in your opinion, do you think the overall environment in Malaysia is suitable for young people to start their entrepreneurships? And is it any opportunity and challenge, and can you give some suggestion about it?
I think, as I say, to respond to The third questions, as I mentioned, in Asian culture, everybody want to be a boss themselves by not looking into the fundamentals of enterprise or entrepreneurships, how actually build. It not mean to build for a short term. You have actually a social responsibility. Once you build it, you have to take the social responsibility to keep it sustainable. But unfortunately, in Malaysia, in the way people looking into short-term profit, they will not looking into the long-term sustainability and start out entrepreneurship. And I wouldn't call it entrepreneurship. Basically, I will feel that those people who are not getting, who has no vision, but they want to start the business purely looking for a very short time, it's a short-sighted type of opportunist. They basically hub on opportunity to gain a short-term gain, but not really built for a long term. So you can compare the 4Bs or whatever, the first top 500. You won't be able to find many in Malaysia, but you can find it somewhere other places. Why? Because they're meant to build big. They are actually really exercising entrepreneurship to enlarge their business platform. So they really have the hunger or desire to move to that directions. Whereas I think opportunity, definitely there are plenty of space and opportunity. And Malaysian actually is gifted in a way, because I think we have Malay people, Malay friends, our Malay, and also we have Indian, we also have Chinese, and you just add up all the world population from Indonesia, China, India. Probably there are at least 40% of the world population, and Malaysia is gifted in the sense I think we command multilingual, and we are able to communicate with these three major population in the world. By right, if it's handled properly, we should be able to become a hub of communication and a business hub, even a transportation hub geographically in the middle of everywhere. We should be doing very well and should be have a lot of cutting advantage compared to other country. You know, we have resources, we have talented people, and they can speak many language, even dialogue. Many dialogues of these three different races. I don't see why there's not possible to success if it's not due to some others factors like races, religion, you know, or certain politics considerations. Is built on meritocracy, I'm sure that they'll be flying. You know, no, I think no one in this region can fight Malaysia. That's my personal opinion. So I think for the suggestion, it is important that we have a good education. Malaysia have a lot of talented people. They are very innovative. Partly because our education system in the past actually in a way is quite open. They are not suppressing. Okay, of course I think there are certain elements from the Chinese. They overly emphasize on this education in a Chinese way. There are some success, but they also in a way suppress a lot of possible development of talent developments. So if this one can be looked into it in a proper way, I'm sure with the advantage I mentioned just now, and also the freedoms to innovate, I should think we should be able to excel compared to other country that maybe is a single race or not so what they call gifted with the natural resources, and we don't have natural hazard in a way. In Malaysia we are very safe from a lot of all these natural resources. So agriculture, I think we should be able to excel. Technology or science, if we have a proper education system, we will be able to excel, which has been proven in the past. We built a lot of iconic structures and a lot of innovation done by the Malaysian in those days. Has been a tip top. But now of course there's quite a drastic drop in our what they call our position on this, but I think it's still not too late. If we are rectifying the thing in time, should be able to compete with the region. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Thanks.